From Paris to the High Court, we've won the fucking lot. Why should we care? Craig Hannan, Neil Atkinson talking about.
Why should we care?
Yeah.
I think Nike's is a great fit for Liverpool. I've just been looking at at some of the returns from the court case about how LFC have beaten New Balance. A hard-fought victory.
To a pub 3-0.
A hard-fought victory, but in the end, victors nonetheless. And
it's not nailing down Craig Hannan's having it. When's the parade?
Exactly, yeah. I'm excited to see the news later. I want to see them come out and properly give it. Yeah.
A big Nike bus.
Yeah, all wearing 110s. Do you know,
Go on. So why does it matter?
I think it's big for Liverpool in terms of throughout the court case. When you were reading about it and reading what was said in court, it seemed that. What New Balance were arguing and what they were promising in terms of the number of doors or the number of stores that they can get the kit into, that was the big sort of question, and it seemed that they almost either couldn't reach the numbers that they were promising originally, or promising in the future and projecting in the future, and Nike can. Nike have the, Nike are this huge name in world sports, yeah. and this huge brand that are able to sort of deliver. And one of the things that it seems to come from each of the stories is that LeBron James's name gets mentioned quite a bit. Serena Williams, Drake. That seems to be the clincher for Nike, in that they're going to use these global stars to sort of extend Liverpool's popularity around the world, and Nike are going to lean on their athletes. And I'd imagine it was very important for Nike to get Liverpool, not just because of their standing within world football now, but the fact that some of their key athletes in football for Nike are playing for Liverpool now. So they've got Alisson, they've got Van Dijk, they've got Henderson. It goes throughout the whole team, and so a big win for Nike, and I'm quite excited by it. I'm excited to see Liverpool. Nike kits. I'm excited to see Klopp wearing 110s on the sidelines.
Can I ask you a very, very clear question?
Yeah.
Does this make Mbappe more or less likely?
Oh, absolutely more.
That's all I want to hear.
More. And the fact that honestly, the fact that it says in Mbappe 2020 continues and still lives. I think. I think the fact that LeBron James's name has been mentioned so much, it actually surprised me a little bit. Like whenever you're reading through the Echo's reporting of it and the Independents as well, it's the fact that someone like LeBron James and his name within this has been used quite regularly by Nike as someone who is, obviously has a small stake in the club, but who will be important in terms of how Nike help Liverpool grow their popularity and ultimately sell more kits.
Can we get Roger Federer as well? I'd love Rog.
He's cool. He's suave, isn't he? Imagine him in a lovely Liverpool kit.
He's a remarkably suave, attractive man, Roger Federer. He reminds me of someone like Mark Keeley, whose birthday it is, or Jordan from The Office, whose birthday it is.
Not Katie Price.
No. Jordan from The Office, whose birthday it is. It's birthdays everywhere today. I'd like a bit of Rog sauntering into centre court.
Yeah.
Bit of YNWA emblazoned somewhere.
Ooh, I'd like some of those retro kits as well. Like, have you seen the Chelsea and the Roma retro kits where they got the old Nike badge and stuff like that? I'd like more of that, please, Nike, if you're listening. But I think the one word throughout all of this, although there's sort of been varying figures as to how much Nike are actually going to pay Liverpool each year. The one word that continually came up was distribution, wasn't it? And Nike being able to get kits into shops and grow the fan base wider. So that seems to have been the winner for Nike. So happy days.
Okay, Mbappe and distribution, the key words from the trial. They said Mbappe a lot. If you read the court reports, Mbappe this, Mbappe that, Mbappe the other. Let's make it so, Liverpool supporters. Let's make it so. A couple of questions from yesterday's YouTube. So you can ask questions in the comments underneath, and they'll answer them on Monday for you. A couple of questions. One, where's Josh from?
Wimslow? Is that the right place?
Wilmslow.
Wilmslow. I've never been myself.
It's some night out.
Is it?
No.
Cheshire, is Cheshire in it?
Cheshire, yes.
Cheshire. I think I've been to. Is Chester Oaks? Is that
Cheshire Oaks? Cheshire Oaks is in Cheshire. I think it's on the border. Yeah. It's a border town between Merseyside and Ellesmere Port. It's a border town between Cheshire and Merseyside. I mean, Chester. Have you been to Chester?
Once.
How was it?
Yeah, all right. Walls.
There are walls.
Old walls. Felt sort of archaic in different places, but I mean, ultimately not overly exciting for me, really. There's a zoo, which is good. That was the exciting
part. The zoo is ace. If you take anything from this, forget Mbappe. Remember the fact that the zoo is ace. The zoo's second to none. So Wilmslow, Josh is from Wilmslow. And there was another question from Steve LFC, I think it was, or someone like that. They haven't written this down for me. I'm just sort of going with it.
It'll flash up on the screen.
Will it? Oh, marvellous. There's something around, he's asking about Harvey Elliott or Brewster as to who's better suited to first team football now for this Liverpool side. Who do you think's shown enough to feel as though they can expect a first team game at some point soon? Who are you saying, Elliott or Brewster?
That's a really hard one, because as football fans, it's almost how we're programmed that we just remember the last time we saw both of them. And the last time I saw Harvey Elliott, I was so excited for him. If you remember back to the summer, I just would not stop going on about Ryan Brewster, and I was so excited to see him play football every game. But now, since Harvey Elliott and his performance, obviously Brewster played in that same game as Elliott, but he didn't shine in the same way as Elliott did. I think. I mean, look, I'm excited but aren't we allowed to be excited by both? I think Brewster's time will come at some stage, whether that's Arsenal, whether that's in the future. But Elliott just looked something else really in that game, didn't he? Like his guile, that sort of low sense of gravity, the way he was able to turn players, his first touch, there was just class sort of emanating from him every time he had that ball. So look, I love both, and I have a crush on Ryan Brewster really, and I'm so excited by him and his future. But Harvey Elliott looks an absolute biller. I would
like to see Ryan Brewster on the bench against Tottenham, and when Liverpool streak into a lead, I'd quite like him to get half an hour in an ideal world. We'll talk about that in a minute. What's the insert?
I'm going to decide on the insert right now, since you just asked me. Let's go for the preview.
The preview, excellent stuff. Here's something from the preview that we did yesterday on. If you download the app, you can get it there. It tells part of tour player. Here is something from the preview.
Now we're back to the Premier League, though. Now we're back to a big game. Craig said before the break about sort of, it's one we've got to win. We're on the telly, big game. You kind of think you're handing a little bit of momentum back if you don't get 3 points here. With all that in mind, what are you expecting Liverpool's lineup to be this time around?
I said before that I think a quick start's crucial, and I think that's why you see Robertson go off on 65 last night. Gets him a bit more minutes in his legs to get at Spurs from the off and set the tone and set the tempo. Like Craig says, they won't want to drop more points, and I don't see any reason why they should. I've got a feeling Chamberlain will start. Again, I don't think Keita will, but I think this manager's. He's not the manager he is if he doesn't look ahead in terms of games. And I think a big outlier coming up in the next few games is Fabinho. I think he's got to get a rest in Fabinho somewhere, and I think there's no way Fabinho plays against Villa because he's on 4 yellows. So he either gets booked against Tottenham or he doesn't play anyway against Villa because he won't want him getting booked in that game to then miss City. So I think with that in mind, he might look at Henderson and say, well, I'll drop him in against Villa in the 6. And I might look at him from the last half an hour against Tottenham, depending on how the game's going. So it wouldn't surprise me if you get a midfield on Sunday of Fabinho, Wijnaldum and Oxlade-Chamberlain.
There is something from the preview. Wise words indeed. As you might get the sense, the preview hasn't been cut together yet at this point when we're talking. The Anfield app gets through an unbelievable number of shows, both audio and video for you. So second look happened yesterday as well. A look back at that fantastic game and those great goals against Genk. That's in there. We did the review yesterday. We did the weekender yesterday, a free show that came out this morning. We did Friday's show yesterday. Friday's show takes a lot of pulling together. We did the preview. We did second look, and I'll be doing stat show later on today. Team talk to come today. AFQ to come today. The point is this: it isn't some sort of exam where you're meant to watch or listen to everything. It is meant to be that whatever you want, however you want to enjoy Liverpool Football Club, we're here for you at the Anfield Wrap. We're even going to try and get a reaction with someone who's very well informed and won't just make jokes about Mbappe to this news of the trial verdict. It's everything that you need. Download the app and use the tokens. If you don't subscribe, or if you do subscribe but only to a certain level, use the free tokens that you get there. And if you have downloaded the app and you haven't been back on it recently, you'll have got some extra free tokens because Craig sorted it out with the app lads and got that boxed off for you to be able to look at some stuff across the last few weeks. So do take the opportunity to do that. We do loads of fantastic stuff. We're proud of what we put out and we will look to get you to encourage you to go and find it at every opportunity and become part of what we're doing here at the Anfield Wrap. Part of what we are doing at the Anfield Wrap is urging Liverpool, backing Liverpool and supporting Liverpool towards a 19th league title. Sunday will be a massive, massive step forward in that, Craig. And I think that realistically Manchester City beat Aston Villa. They closed the gap to 3 points. but the world watches, and I do mean the world watches, Sunday afternoon, Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur, and I think I'd love to see, normally I'm just all about the results. Sunday I wouldn't half like to see a bit of a statement of intent from the Reds.
I know what you're saying, but in this instance, I'm almost the opposite. I just want to see a result from this game. I think that not just because of what happened against Man United, because I think we saw that we bounced back in midweek. It's the fact that City play early. It's the fact that they closed that gap, and I want to keep the gap of 6 points. And you know, the world will be watching, but there'll be pressure on the Reds. But then that doesn't worry me anymore, because this team, they thrive in that pressure, and we saw that time and time again. We saw that against Spurs this time last season in March, where all of the pressure was on them, and even right at the death, they get the win. They find a way to win. So I'm excited more than nervous because of that pressure. I just want to get into Anfield. I want to support them, and I want to watch these boys again. And you know, especially it was the other night's performance was a funny one for me, because I was watching it and I was quite frustrated at times with, you know, with Salah, with Mane. I was excited by Oxlade-Chamberlain, but almost the imbalance in the midfield, especially first half, I was a bit like, it was sending my head a bit west, like having to watch Fabinho just clean things up. And then I was thinking to the game at the weekend, and I was thinking, well, who do I want to see in there? I want to see more of Oxlade-Chamberlain now, because I'm a football fan. He's just scored 2 great goals. But I'm excited to see the damage that Salah and Mane do, and I think it was interesting that I saw loads of people online sort of saying, well, you know, once we've gone 2-0 up, put Brewster on, give him a go. But you could see what Klopp was doing there. He was keeping Salah and Mane on him because he wanted them both to get in the score sheet, and both of them oblige in the best sort of manner.
I think there's definitely an element of that. I want to see Liverpool put a performance on. I want Pep Guardiola to settle down to his roast beef, a little bit of mint sauce, roast potatoes. He's got some sprouts on there. He's got his carrot and turnip, and he's trying to have a nice Sunday.
He's not putting mint sauce on.
A little bit of mint sauce.
He's having a boring, dry lunch.
No, a little bit of mint sauce on there for Pep, and he's sat there. He's got it on his lap, and he's got the telly on, and he's sort of like he's watching the game, and he's and maybe Spurs create half a decent chance in the first 5, and he's thinking, you never know, you're looking at Raffle here, and then it's 3-0 Liverpool by 25 minutes, and that mint sauce with that lamb, it tastes like ash in his mouth. I basically want him to not be able to digest his food properly. I want him to be grouchy about it. He's not enjoying the lovely bottle of Reds he's got anymore. That was yesterday's news. I want him to suddenly see Liverpool streak. It's 4-1. He's thinking, God, Spurs came to our place. Be frustrated as it was a 2-2 draw. Look at these mighty boys in red. There's a song where they say they're never going to stop. And that's what I want going through Pep Guardiola's mind. He's got like a napkin tucked in, and it's all down, you know, and it's
well, I was awful. About to say, just as he thinks things aren't going to go worse, the Reds go 4, they go 5, he spills the mint sauce down his grey jumper. His
missus is like, do you want some tiramisu? Not now! Not now!
And Pep's Sunday is ruined by the Reds.
That's what I want. I want very much, I want Liverpool to be in Pep's head. I want him to be in his mouth. I want them to be in his stomach. I want him to not digest his food properly off Liverpool's fantastic performance. I'm expecting a performance. I take Craig's point, and I think he's right. There was times where Mane and Salah were frustrating, but I think that you saw them click, and you saw Firmino click, and you'll see Wijnaldum start. And then from there, the two start alongside Wijnaldum. I actually think there's more of a shout for James Milner starting than people think. It wouldn't surprise me if the team's actually the same as the side that played against Leicester with basically someone in for Matip. That's what I'm actually partially expecting. And I think the other reason why I think you're going to get a performance is because Liverpool have had 3 big home games this season. One was against Arsenal, one was against Leicester, and one was against Salzburg. And in all 3, Liverpool have emphatically turned up, and they've turned up early, I'd say. Leicester, they played themselves in a little bit more, but they create a ton of opportunities by the hour mark. And I think that's what you're going to see against Tottenham. I think you're going to see Liverpool really pen Spurs back, really concern them, really scare them. Listen, Salzburg was weird. They got themselves back into the game, and credit to them for that. But Liverpool decimated them for 35 minutes. And that's genuinely what I think we're going to see, regardless of what Pep's having for his tea. That's what we're going to see. I think Liverpool are going to decimate Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I hope so. And I think, you know, Spurs will come into this game with a little bit of confidence. They get the win against Belgrade. I saw a few online and heard the lad from the Athletic on the Weekender show saying that it was their best win of the season. It's against Belgrade, and you know, they've toiled. I've watched their last two games, and you know, they were dreadful against Watford. They were very, very lucky. They were even worse against Brighton, I think.
They were abject against Brighton.
And I think their goalkeeper as well, Gazzaniga, I just think he looks dodgy. I just don't think they have the trust in him as well. So I think the Reds can get at them. I think it'll be tight, but I think the Reds will come straight out of the block early. I think that's what Jurgen Klopp will want to do, and that's what he'd be looking to do with them. And hopefully we get a couple of early goals and we have a lovely Sunday afternoon. I don't want the worry of what it was last year. I remember watching that game and Ed O'Neill's left, and it's obviously Salah. There's a great let off at the end. It's relief and it's excitement, and it's Liverpool still massively in the title race, but I want Liverpool emphatically to win this game, to go 6 points clear and to ruin Pep Guardiola's dinner.
We're going to be doing loads of stuff around immediate post-match reaction to that match on audio and on video. On the Monday there'll be a review, there'll be the Anfield wrap, we'll be looking ahead to Arsenal as well. There'll be second look on the video stuff. As I said before, there's everything that you could ever possibly need and so much more. We try to enjoy ourselves, but there's one thing we want, it's a 19th league title. Sunday matters.